Alright, so let's talk about this rather monumental piece of news coming out of Yokohama, because Shintaro Fujinami has just taken his future into his own hands and made a statement that changes the entire complexion of the DeNA BayStars upcoming season. Now for context, this wasn't a formal press release from the front office, it wasn't a leak to a sports newspaper, this was Fujinami himself, standing in front of the fans, looking them in the eye and making a promise. He said, "I will be a pillar of the starting lineup from the start next season," and that phrase, a pillar, is so much more powerful than just saying, "I'm re-signing," or, "I'll be back." It carries a weight of responsibility. It's an acceptance of a leadership role that this pitching staff has been desperately crying out for. You have to understand the journey this man has been on to really appreciate the gravity of this moment. He was the superstar phenom, the so-called monster, coming out of high school with a fastball that seemed to defy physics. He had those incredible early years with Hanshin where the sky was the limit, but then the struggles began, the control issues, the trips back and forth to the farm team, the immense pressure that seemed to weigh him down at times. His move to MLB was a fresh start, but it was also a huge challenge, a middle reliever in Oakland and Baltimore, trying to find his way in a completely different environment. And then he comes home, he signs with DeNA mid-season last year, and it was a bit of a feeling out process. He was building back up, getting reacclimated to the NPB style of play, the baseball, the schedule, but what we saw were flashes, genuine flashes of that prodigious talent. The fastball still has that incredible life, the splitter can be a devastating outpitch when it's on, but it was inconsistent, it was a work in progress. And that's why this announcement is so fascinating, because he's not just choosing to stay, he's setting a benchmark for himself, publicly. He's creating an expectation that from day one of spring training, his goal is not just to make the rotation, but to be its cornerstone, its pillar. This is a player who has often been analyzed, critiqued, and at times perhaps even sympathized with, now stepping forward and saying, "No, I will be the one they rely on." Think about what this means for manager Daisuke Miura's planning for next year. Your entire off-season strategy shifts when you know you have a potential ace-like figure already locked in and committed. It allows the front office to focus their resources on building around him, on finding another starter to slot in behind him, on strengthening the bullpen, knowing that the first game of a series can be anchored by a guy like Fujinami. But let's be clear, the hard work starts now for him to truly become that pillar. There are specific things he has to conquer. The primary one, the one that has followed him his entire career, is fastball command. It's all very well having a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, but if it's not located in the zone, or if it's catching too much of the plate, elite hitters will either lay off it or punish it. He needs to get to a point where he can consistently spot that fastball on the corners, up in the zone, to change the hitter's eye level, because when he does that, it makes his entire arsenal, the splitter, the slider, so much more effective. Secondly, it's about stamina and consistency over a full NPB season. The rigors of being a starting pitcher in Japan, with the 6-man rotations and the travel, are unique. This will be his first full proper off-season and spring training with DeNA, his first chance to build up his arm and his body specifically for that 140 to 150 inning workload from the very first pitch in March. That continuity is priceless. It's something he hasn't had in years. And finally, there's the mental aspect. By making this declaration, he has raised the bar for himself immensely. There will be no flying under the radar now. Every start he makes, every outing, will be viewed through the lens of this promise he made to the fans, and that is a different kind of pressure, but it also feels like a pressure he is now ready to embrace, a pressure he is choosing for himself. This isn't the young player buckling under expectations. This seems like a matured, 29-year-old pitcher who knows exactly what he wants his role to be and is confident in his ability to fulfill it. So for DeNA and their fans, this is the best possible start to the off-season. It's a statement of faith from a key player, it's a building block for the entire team, and it sets up one of the most intriguing storylines to follow next year. Can Shintaro Fujinami, the once and future star, finally become the pillar he has promised to be? The journey to find out starts right now.